Hey everybody, Hollywood Pizza here, and we've got some phenomenal coverage from the top 8 of the Slice of Historic event on April 24th. We're going to be joined by Staxx Rocman and Hamhocks42. I hope that you enjoy all the gameplay from today's event. Don't forget, we host 3 tournaments a month on mtgmelee.com. All the links to those tournaments and the links to the commentators can be found in the description below, and I hope you enjoy.
Oh, we got a match starting.
Excellent. Let's go. But no, I appreciate that. Like, I definitely appreciate that. And it's funny, actually. I end up doing a lot of like, I will occasionally do deck techs on meta decks, but actually, I post them on the Pizza Box MTG channel. So if you're interested in competitive information, the YouTube channel that's actually associated with our host, Pizza Box MTG on YouTube, please drop them a subscription. It would actually be really, really cool. And there are a number of content creators who contribute to it, and I am actually one of them. And we talk about meta stuff, and we look at meta decks that were successful in these tournaments. So if you want to see what's working, it's out there, and that is a resource for you.
Right. Don't be ridiculous. Don't waste your wild cards. It's just gonna tick you off.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and there are so many great, like, I know Bootlegger Stash is making a ton of waves right now as like the mythic. Don't go out there and craft 4 of those if you're trying to be successful and like trying to make the pro tour. Just don't do it.
I second that. Don't do it.
Yeah, if you want to build like some weird Ginny Faye historic brawl deck, then yeah, craft one, go nuts, like have fun, but don't. You're not going to be taking on the pros with. You're not going to be making it to the pro.
You're not taking down no Grand Prix with that. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to get stomped pretty hard with that, but it's my read on it anyway. And just watch like Seth Manfield or somebody's going to be break open Bootlegger Stash in a way that I never saw coming, and like I'm going to eat those words. But like okay, I was wrong on that.
Hawks, you lied to me. You lied to me. Staxx too. You lied.
Well, because people talk about Vivian as a 6-drop being unplayable. Like Bootlegger Stash is a 6-drop that gives you nothing the turn it comes into play in most circumstances. And the following turn, it's at you're at parity mana wise because you tap a land to create a treasure.
Right.
So unless you have synergies that are specifically taking advantage of the treasure, you gain almost nothing. That first turn, it's down. So anyway,
don't do it, people.
Don't do it. It's a trap. It's a trap. All right.
It's a trap.
Anyway, we have a match going. We have top 8 action unfolding in front of us, and I'm getting on my
we got Yorion the Sky Lizard.
Yes,
and Kahira.
The Battle of the Companions. Even with the nerf, they cannot be held down. They're still around. And actually, it's kind of fun because, I mean, Yorion is one of the more powerful companions. We've seen it all over the place. Yorion and Lurrus are really the two great ones. So you may be wondering, if you're not familiar, why Kahira could be in this list. And to be honest, part of it is
Kahira is just a free creature.
It's a free creature, exactly. It's a free vigilant 3/2. Like,
you're right. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, because Kahira's rule text says that all the creatures in your deck have to be one of like 5 types. Right. But if you don't have creatures,
if you don't have any creatures, then hey, it's a free creature.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, it costs you nothing.
Are they going to jam the Emperor main phase? Why?
No, this is on the end step. This is Macfadden's end step.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it now. Opponent's turn. All right.
Yeah. The opponent's end step. So they have an opportunity if the Wandering Emperor resolves to buff the shark. It's an interesting plan.
I don't see the Emperor resolving here.
Yeah, I don't either, but that gets a counter out of Macfadden's hand. Oh!
Uh-oh.
All right. Well, we're not surprised. Oh, and they're going with the Samurai option. Okay.
Yeah, 2 bodies are better than 1.
Yeah.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
I appreciate that. And now all of a sudden there are 3 permanents on the board that need to be dealt with. Make that 4, because we have another Samurai coming down.
Well, Macfadden, what are you doing here, buddy?
They got to have something.
Make it make sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because with that many cards in hand, I mean, they got a full grip right now. Now, notably, they are only on 1 white mana. So if they're sitting on a board wipe with 2 white, like a Day of Judgment or Wrath of God, that could be a problem here.
He may be trying to just draw cards so he can hit that white mana here.
Possibly, yeah. So we might see a Memory Deluge or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. But it's the end step. right, Macfadden, give us something. Cycling Shark Typhoon, that does qualify as something.
Okay. That shark is gonna bite the bullet here.
Yeah, it's gonna go pretty fast.
My God, March is so just ridiculous.
So good. With how many tokens are running around in like various formats. Yeah, March is fantastic.
Well, I mean, like we said, most the dominant force in historic right now is control decks, and control decks traditionally we don't run creatures. We run tokens.
Mhm.
So I mean, March is just like a Swords to Plowshare with no downside.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic.
I mean, if we're running any creatures, it's a Urion or
Right.
Kahira.
Or Akira, yeah. Ooh, exiling the Lightning Helix. When there are 4 great targets, they go for the Planeswalker. Can't blame them there.
Yeah, got to get her out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're like,
But that still doesn't feel good because you still have 6 damage on the board coming at you.
Yeah, now you're gonna have more damage on board now.
Yeah, no, I mean 9 here in a second. Yeah.
And plus you're tapped out basically. I mean, you got 2 mana open, but that 2 mana ain't gonna stop this.
Nope, sure isn't.
Wait, what? Why?
They're considering jamming Yorion here, but without the Wandering
Why?
Emperor, there's nothing worth blinking, because obviously blinking a token just destroys it. I mean, if I'm in this situation, I'm either holding my mana back to bluff a counterspell or throwing Teferi. That's my thought.
Yeah. Why
I mean, because
jam
this is
Urion?
lethal on board, isn't it? Or am I?
Yeah, it's lethal on board.
Yeah, this is an interesting choice. Playing out the Yorion potentially into a sweeper.
Oh man,
is dangerous. Yeah.
Why? I don't understand that. I'm with you. If I was gonna jam anything, I would have went for the Teferi.
Yeah. But with that kind of value on the field, you could make an argument for just holding back and not playing anything.
Right,
That would have been
doing
okay
anything
too.
and just bluffing counter spells.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Teferi's not going to get it done here.
No.
Unless they're trying to find a settle. Oh no, they're not trying to find anything. they're just dead here.
Gonna chuck Yorion, and that's
So if they remove the 3/3, then they get out of lethal.
Yeah. Yeah, another lightning
remove
helix
any one
perhaps.
of them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Helix?
they're answers, they're options. Let's see if they have any of them.
Okay, March,
great card.
Okay, but now the opponent can just jam their Teferi.
Yep.
I'm tucking that Teferi if I'm them.
Oh yeah. Seems like a good idea to me.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah. There's much consideration. Because at this point, Macfadden just needs to have a board wipe. It's that simple.
Right.
It's board wipe or bust here. I mean, they have the Hall of Storm Giants, which is a good resource, but that's better if they can hit it after a board wipe, of course. Meanwhile, Biggie is sitting here with the Wrath of God in hand with no intention of using it anytime soon. Yeah, that is a dead card at the moment, and they are okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have tucked that Teferi. I wouldn't have wanted them to see that extra card.
Yeah. All right,
okay,
everybody.
So they didn't find it.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, and everybody, please keep an eye on the chat. There is a giveaway coming for a Streets of New Capenna pre-release code, good for 6 boosters on Arena. So keep an eye on chat for that. Yeah. And again, huge thank you to our lovely host and our sponsors for making this possible. So Hollywood Pizza and the Comic Book Store, y'all are amazing. Thank you so much.
So the only thing that gets them out of this now is a cleansing, but that's not going to resolve.
Nope.
think that's game.
I think you're right. Yeah, with only 3 mana back. I mean, the March is nice, but... And now if you're Biggie, you wonder, like, is it worth throwing the Jawari Disruption? So if they have a 2 mana anything, it just doesn't resolve, but...
Right.
that's kind of salt in the wound more than anything at that point. Cycling the Triumph, fine choice.
Biggie.
And your Orient's back. Crazy.
Are your tears tanks filled, Biggie? Are they
Yeah, right?
Are they working?
Yeah. This is yeah, so Biggie's just going straight for the attack first. Gotta make them have it. I mean, they need to have 2 unsummoned style effects here. I mean, one more March would work. Lightning Helix. That actually
okay. All right.
All right. Never mind. Okay, I stand corrected. That actually is a fine play here. So Memory
McFadden
Dealer's
hanging on.
Counterspell.
McFadden ain't producing tears yet. He's still hanging on.
Yep, absolutely. Ooh, Dovin's Veto on the Memory Deluge, but here the Jawari Disruption can come out now.
Yeah, but it can't stop. Well, I mean, it could stop the Helix.
Yeah, it can stop the Lightning Helix. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that
sucks. Wow, it's not often that you see somebody throw a Dovin's Veto on the stack and for them to lose the counter battle, but we saw it right there. All right. So we're back for that if I'm not mistaken, this is actually the match we were watching earlier where there was a little bit of a sideboarding issue.
Yeah.
That has been resolved and they are underway.
Look at all these lands.
So many lands, my goodness.
So many.
Well, this looks like, I mean, it's not often that you see a mirror. Well, not quite a mirror, but close to a mirror where one player has Teferi and a Shark token down, and it doesn't look like they're in charge of the game.
Right.
But that's what we're seeing
not
here.
Look like he's in charge of the game.
No, not at all. We got 10 life, and Biggie here is sitting on a 4/4 Samurai token, a Wandering Emperor. They do have a Dovin's Veto, which is pretty nice. That is going to stop Teferi from resolving, or at least that Teferi from resolving, but there are 2 more in hand. So,
Yeah,
the question is now, do you have a Spell Piercer?
I play Azorius Control so much in Historic that I started getting around Dovin's Veto with Unsubstantiate.
So, oh, nice. Okay. You just bounce it back to your hand? Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Nice. So, in this situation, Biggie cast Teferi, Hero of Dominaria twice, and Macfadden had counterspells for both of them.
Well, he still got one more Teferi. And
yep,
a Veto and a Charm of his own, so plenty more fighting to come.
Absolutely. Well, in that situation, okay, so as an Azorius Control Mage yourself, looking with an Archmage Charm in hand and that 3/3 on the board, whoo!
That's not good.
No, that is not. All of a sudden, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he is in charge of this game. Yeah, Starnheim Unleashed for where X equals 4. That's a big deal. I was about to ask, would you want to hold up the Archmage Charm and steal the token on their end step?
Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah.
I've let my opponent make like a big 8/8 shark, and then I just say, okay, yeah, on your end step, I steal
it. Yeah, that's gotta feel bad.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so now throwing Hero Dominaria, I mean, Macfadden still has 3 cards in hand, 1 mana untapped, so a Spell Pierce or a Mystical Dispute could be an issue. But if you're Biggie here, I mean, you throw Teferi and you hope to uptick into a board wipe. That's like, that's it, right? There's nothing else to it.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Man, that Starnheim is brutal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I love that card in a control deck feels almost like a flex. You know, because like I'm just gonna tap out. Yeah. I'm not gonna respond to anything you do. What do you do to this now? Like, how do you deal with this board?
I probably would tuck a token.
Okay.
And then I'd steal one of the other ones.
There it is. Archmage Charm.
Or you can just steal 2 of the angels.
Yeah, stealing 2 angels all of a sudden. Now, if you wait for the attack, they're going to be, well, they're vigilant. So actually,
Yeah, they're vigilant. You could steal them in mid attack.
that's awesome. All right. Because that will remove them from combat, but they're not tapped, so they can still block. Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty sweet. All right. I like that. I'm liking these options. So the samurai swinging into potential death here. I think you trade a token, save Teferi all day. That's, yeah.
Yep.
And because at this point, Macfadden has no way of knowing that those Archmage Charms are here to cause some mayhem next turn.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you go for the steal now. While
Yeah,
you
that makes
tapped out. Maybe this gets countered. I think so.
Possibly.
Okay.
Now you have another charm in hand. Do you rip it here?
Well, I think now at this point you wait for the attacks now.
Okay.
Because you want to make sure you kill one of the angels.
Yeah, the other option that it looked like Biggie was considering there was allowing Teferi's ability to untap the lands in case of, say, a mystical dispute or a spell pierce. That way you had a couple, some other more mana lying around. But yeah, it looks like in the end they agree with you that waiting for attacks is the right move.
Oh, going all that face.
Yeah, Macfadden making a statement here. I'm not worried about your Planeswalker. I want to end this game. And when you got that kind of power on board, I can't blame him. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where you steal the token, you block one of theirs, and then you use Teferi to tuck the last angel.
That makes sense, yeah. And with that, I mean, that Starnheim Unleashed was looking pretty menacing, but
yeah,
there's a plan to deal with
then you
it.
can play Urion and reset Teferi.
That's right. Man, Urion, that's a heck of a card.
Veto?
Or Fry.
Oh, can't be countered. Oh.
Ouch. Ooh.
Oh.
You hate to see it. Yeah.
All right. Now you're all in for a Wrath of God here.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Oh, my God. Oh, my
Second Fry. God. Ouch. Wow. Yeah, and Fry being a great example of a color-specific hoser. That's not something that, it's actually something that we see in a lot of different,
it's a good option it's a good option now because, this is a control-heavy tournament, so everybody could reasonably assume that Jeskai control was going to be a thing.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, and we see spells like this in a lot of sets these days where they have effects that can only target specific colors, but the effects are incredibly powerful for what they do. And Fry is great. It can't be countered, deals 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker that's white or blue. Well, in this case, there are a lot of white and blue planeswalkers running around. So being able to hitting for 5 damage, that wipes out pretty much, unless they've been sitting around the board for a while, that takes them out pretty comfortably.
Okay, we got to commit here. That can get rid of a token.
Solid. Yeah, search for as content at this stage in the game, not good enough. I can appreciate scrying that to the bottom, but commit all of a sudden.
It keeps you alive.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have waited for them to tap out. Oh wait, no, that was the end step because of Urion's flicker ability.
Mm-hmm. Now, an interesting choice that Macfadden had there, they could have down-ticked Teferi, sacrificing the Teferi, and tucking Yorion.
Yeah, that could end up being a misplay. I think he just wanted to dig for more counter magic, though.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
But I mean, like you said, at this point, just tuck the Urion. leave your opponent defenseless.
Oh, Lightning Helix, but the Dovin's Veto is going to be a pretty sweet answer to that.
All right, Biggie hanging on.
Yep, hanging on and also up one game. So if Macfadden wins this one, we're going to be going to game 3.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
another Startime Unleashed.
Gosh. Okay, so you can just deluge. You can deluge. Why are you wasting mana? You just deluge and find the wrath. Oh my god! Now if you find the wrath, it doesn't mean anything.
And they weren't going to anyway.
Oh well.
Ouch. I mean, but you're right. Like, had they had that 2 mana and pulled a Wrath of God, could have held on for even longer. But with that, we're going to game 3. Biggie with 11 and a half minutes on the clock. And Macfadden's clock's not yet visible, so.
Well, he wasn't running wrath anyway.
Oh wow. Well, maybe put those back in for game 3.
Yeah, you might want to put those couple wraths back in there.
Yeah. That's always the worst when you're in a best of 3 matchup and you're in game 2 or 3 and you realize like, oh, the one thing I need right now, I sideboarded out. Like,
right.
Yeah, that's a feel bad for sure. Yeah, against those Starnheims, I mean, yeah, board wipes are kind of where it's at.
Yeah, kind of need those.
A little bit.
I need them.
I can appreciate Baneslayer being in the mix. I mean, we've seen that do some phenomenal work in this round, so okay. Happy to see that here. Truth is, yeah, Baneslayer still got it. No question about it.
She still got it. She just ain't $50 no more.
That's true.
She's had a drastic fall from the pricing charts.
Right? Yeah. It's funny actually. I took a long break from Magic and coming back and then like looking through my collection and seeing like some prices. Fascinating. Like it's absolutely fascinating how things have shifted. You know, if you take some time off Magic, or if you find like if you have old bulk lying around from when you like played way back in the day, oh, open it up. You got some gems in there, I bet.
Right.
You know, because I played a lot during the original Mirrodin block, and I opened a ton of packs at that point. The original Mirrodin block and the original Kamigawa, that was my jam. And so when I got back into the game and like kind of dusted off my old collection, I found a bunch of Sensei's Divining Tops. Oh yeah,
money.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly they became a rent payment pretty fast. Yeah, but yeah,
like I need to liquidate some assets.
Exactly, that's exactly what happened. And no regrets. I saved one for one of my commander decks, but like the rest of them, like, yep, no, get them out of here because that's like that was worth way too much. I couldn't say no. But yeah, but even then, like even you don't even have to go that far. I mean, I had a bunch of Wayfarer's baubles as well. I mean, that's a $2 commander card. Like,
yeah,
you know, at common, like, all right, sweet. Like that was just a nice thing to have. So anyway.
I got a true story when I was in college. That was back when like Ice Age had just came out.
Okay.
And that was when Dark Deaths had came out.
Oh.
And so it was like a 50-cent land, right?
Sure.
And all of my friends that I played Magic with back then, they did a prank on me where they bought 50 Dark Deaths and they gave them to me for my birthday. And so I had 50 Dark Deaths just laying in a box. And I remember when Vampire Hexmage came out, how Dark Death, the price of Dark Deaths just shot up. I was like, lotto money.
Yeah, joke's on you guys. Like, who's laughing now? Yeah. That's amazing. My goodness.
That was crazy. I was selling those things off like drugs.
Right? Of course. Oh yeah. Price to move, everything must go. Let's love it. All right. So Biggie here. Okay, so we're into game 3. Biggie here is going to be cycling Shark Typhoon for a 0/0 that will probably say goodbye. But drawing into a Search for Azcanta as well as a land. So they don't miss the land drop. They also have Search for Azcanta or Narset. really can't go wrong either way.
I would play the search here because you want to make sure you hit your land drops. But he's playing a Narset.
Yeah. Potentially pulling a counter here. Because both these players want to draw cards. Although notably, cards like Memory Deluge don't draw cards. They put cards in your hand.
Right.
And if you think, oh
my God. Oh, wow.
Down ticking the Planeswalker to no value, hitting a land pocket. That's pretty brutal.
Okay, well, he can still play his Ascanta here, though.
True.
So both players got Narset on the field, trying to shut down the draw. They shut down the Teferi draw.
That's very true. Yep. They're just gonna down tick. This time hitting some quality. We got Wandering Emperor, Narset, and Archmage's Charm. All pretty sweet.
I'm taking the Charm here. You already got an Emperor.
Yeah. Already sitting on an Emperor. You have Narset in play, so you still have the passive, which is really where the rubber meets the road there. Yeah, so it looks like Biggie is considering jamming the Wandering Emperor and down ticking her immediately.
I would just play my Ascanta right now.
But... yeah. I think both are fine options. I think both of those plays are solid because that also would keep up March of the Worldly Light in case of any tokens coming down on Macfadden's side of the board. Expressive Iteration. Card's pretty good.
So they say. So I'm told. Pretty good.
Yep, pretty good. And hitting a land on the exile, so sure enough, two cards for two.
Right.
Yeah, so here, Biggie has the option of, well, first things first, attacking Narset. Getting her off the field. Because I would like to draw cards, but I still don't want you drawing cards. So now the Sorcery Ascanta can come down and Archmage's Charm is going to be held back. So that's not bad. Or they can pull your hand to hand.
Biggie is way ahead here.
True. Yeah. The board presence that Biggie's sitting on right now is looking pretty good. So what's more important, that Archmage's Charm or Yorion? Because Macfadden does have a ton of cards left in hand still. So if you're in Biggie's situation and you pull Yorion to hand, I mean, in this situation, you kind of have to assume they have Teferi, right?
Right.
You just assume that he's there. Although, wait a minute. At this point, there isn't any white man on there. Or no, the Triumph. Never mind. Don't mind me. I was just thinking, if you pull Yorion to hand, and then Macfadden follows it up by hitting the land drop and slam Teferi on the field, that's pretty rough. But instead, keeping the mana up.
I don't think Teferi really helps Macfadden right now.
Sure, because those tokens would be able to chip in and take him down pretty fast. Yeah, so for 5 mana, I suppose the impact on this board state wouldn't be that much.
I mean, Teferi can't even draw Macfadden cards right now.
That's true. Yeah. Right, because there's just too many threats that he would need to prioritize. All right, Macfadden discarding Narset. Sorcery Ascanta, revealing Deserted Beach. Biggie's gonna let it go. Put it in the graveyard.
Okay.
That's one of those I could have made an argument either way. So
yeah. I mean, either way, I mean, it's fine.
Right.
He's got the board right now, so he just needs to build up his hand and protect it.
100%. March of the Really Light coming down.
I'll let that go. You don't fight over that.
I think so too. They're going to be juicier targets for those counter spells. You don't want to burn them this early. So Sorcery Ascanta is going to show the irrigated farmland. This is also going to be going to the graveyard. And a fresh Wandering Emperor is coming off the top. Okay.
That could be problems.
Could be problems, absolutely. So now Biggie doesn't feel so bad about down taking the Wandering Emperor, creating those samurai. Chipping in for 2 damage. Do we have another March coming or some other response? Yeah, cycling a Shark Typhoon where X equals 2.
Sharky.
Yep. Now, in this situation, Biggie has the opportunity to use Archmage Charm, steal the shark. But is that worth it, do you think?
I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Just kill it. Just kill it and get it out of there.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, because in this matchup, yeah, if they had made, if we were in a situation where that was like a 5/5 or a 6/6, oh yeah, you steal that all day. But yeah, for a 2/2, I get what you're saying. Well, and in this matchup, the March of Otherworldly Light is here to pick off the shark tokens. I mean, that's really what its primary function is here, or the Starnheim Unleashed tokens.
Macfadden hasn't foretold anything yet.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, gonna fry it.
Gonna fry Narset. Okay.
That tells me that he has Teferi in hand.
I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely wants to be drawing cards.
So now, if you're Biggie, you make sure you play. Your sequences have to know. You have to know in your mind. I just have to be prepared for Teferi, to deal with Teferi, because I know he has Teferi.
Yeah, that's definitely a reasonable assumption at this point. Search showing the Omen of the Sea. And this is kind of the control player's conundrum, right? Do you draw the draw spells, or do you opt out of them in hopes of getting
Right
some
now,
gas?
in this position, I wouldn't want anything that's going to require me to have to spend my mana on anything other than protecting assets that I want to protect on the board.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, and that paid off by letting the Omen of the Sea go. And March of Otherworldly Light enters the hand. Great. That looks fantastic.
And go for the steal.
I think maybe a Mystical Dispute here could be worthwhile.
Yeah, I think I dispute here. Oh, he's going to kill his own token. I mean, yeah, I can see that too, because
yeah, that works. It's a one-man answer to what they're doing, and yeah, Arena's gonna ask, "Are you sure here?" And yep, Biggie is sure. So that is gonna fizzle the Archmage Charm because it no longer has a target.
Man, this Wandering Emperor, she's putting in some work though.
Absolutely. Well, and here, Memory Deluge. I mean, if the game grinds longer, you might even be able to get value out of the graveyard. So, and that flips your search, which is pretty nice. Yet another March entering the hand. You'll love to see it. Biggie upticking the Wandering Emperor, making that a 3/3 first striking Vigilant Samurai token.
Just chipping in here.
Absolutely. Because sometimes that's exactly what you need to do. Just keep chipping in.
Macfadden hadn't been hitting any lands either.
Yeah, it's true. There's another Archmage's Charm. Wow.
I think we fight here.
I think so too. Yeah, because you've got 2 samurai. Yeah, you can let one of them go, but this is the last creature on the board.
You don't want to give up this position.
Mm-hmm.
You fight here. You dispute. He's gonna dispute. Or you know what? I would actually dispute the charm, and then he's gonna dispute my dispute, and then I would kill my own token.
Well, or if they dispute the dispute, you could just even pay for it. Which, I mean,
no, you would don't pay for it, because then you'll be tapped out, and then he's gonna drop a Teferi, and then you're gonna be behind. So
okay.
I would kill my own token here, and then he's gonna think I don't have a counterspell, and he'll go to tap out and play Teferi, and then I countered it to Teferi.
And then follow it up with your own Teferi the next turn. Yeah, okay.
Right.
That's pretty sweet. Lightning Helix on the token. All right, I did not see that coming.
All right,
but,
cool.
Okay.
Well,
that's one way to win the counter
okay,
war.
now you jam Teferi.
Now you jam Teferi, exactly. Perfect. That actually worked out okay. Yeah. And drawing into backup Teferi. All right.
So if he plays Teferi and took your Teferi, then you play Teferi and took his Teferi. And that's probably what's going to happen.
Exactly what we're about to see. Yeah.
Okay.
No, going for the draw. Okay.
I would definitely tuck his Teferi.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right move here. Wandering Emperor continuing to generate value.
Yeah, Macfadden, he played it all wrong now. He's gonna fall behind now.
Yeah. Yeah, because at this point, I mean, Biggie does have 4 minutes left on the clock, so that is notable. You know, that's a potential issue.
So Macfadden could be playing the clock.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. And Tef's back. All right.
Okay. Just let it resolve. It's fine.
Again, going for the card draw here.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say you jam Emperor here.
Right, because that lets you create another token, and then on the following turn you can uptick and you have lethal on Teferi. Yeah. Yeah, that's 5 damage coming back. Now, notably, at this point, Biggie does not have a counterspell backup, like a Mystical Dispute or anything of that nature. Well, not that that would have mattered, because Dove's veto says no.
All right. Well, you lost an Emperor. That's all. You're still ahead in the exchange. You got a veto out of the hand, you're ahead.
Yeah, you got a veto out of the hand. You still have an Emperor on the field, so it's not like you're sunk here. Yep, no need to untap any lands there. I mean, to be honest, actually, prior to the end step, ripping an Archmage's Charm just to draw some cards might not have been a bad idea.
Yeah, or digging with the flip Escanta.
Yeah, so there were some options there, but they elected to just hold back, which is a fine choice as well.
This is going to get countered.
Good chance of that, yeah. I mean, we know that Macfadden has that Mystical Dispute, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to get it out of his hand, I would assume. So.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because, yeah, there's a time and a place where you just need to run threats into counter spells knowing that they're not going to resolve.
Trying to get the Teferi out of here.
Yep, going to combat first before casting anything. Macfadden is going to be cycling the Rogran Triome. Hoping to draw into an answer, it seems.
Nope, Teferi biting the bullet.
They did not hit it. Emperor's going to be creating more tokens.
That Emperor, man, she has been putting in some work.
Oh, no question. Yeah. My goodness.
Right, the Hermit is going to, if he lets this resolve, it's going to make stuff bad for Macfadden.
Oh, big time. No, Malevolent Hermit, my goodness, that card is awesome. It's 2 power on the board and a mana leak. I mean, it can't touch creature spells, but it can hit anything else that's just sitting there threatening your opponent. Yeah, I think the Malevolent Hermit is a phenomenal card. And in this case, it's 2 more damage each turn for each of them.
It's just sitting there like, hi, play your things.
Yeah, and once more, we have a situation where, Biggie is, playing in Zori's control deck, but my goodness, this is the aggro beatdown plan that we're about to witness here. And even if there's a board wipe coming.
This
Those
is a
Archmage's
crucial turn for you, man. That's not going to get it. That's not going to get it, Macfadden. Macfadden.
Yeah, the Malevolent Hermit is gonna crack. Now there's a question: does Macfadden pay for it, knowing that the other Hermit can just get cracked? Yeah, they choose not to. That's fair.
Biggie said, "I'm not eating no Starheim today."
Right. Now Biggie is down to sub, 2:30 on the clock, 2 minutes 20 seconds.
Yeah, he's got to get going.
Yeah, so there's got to be a lot of damage coming across the board here. Which, to be fair, there's not up to do. But yeah, they need to start swinging.
This is a rough spot for Macfadden.
Mm-hmm. Electing not to pay for the Benevolent Geist there. Biggie jamming those attacks. Under 2 minutes left on the clock. And Macfadden still has, almost 9 minutes, so they're doing perfectly fine. Here comes Teferi. Straight into an Archmage Charm.
No! No. No, thank you. No Teferi today.
Right? I mean, at this point, Macfadden could follow up with a counterspell of their own, but there's another Archmage's Charm just sitting in hand ready to go, just in case. No one's veto. So the Archmage Charm can come down hitting Teferi. That is an option. Or cracking the Hermit. That works too.
It's just no outs for Macfadden.
Yep. And
His,
Biggie's got
his only out was the clock.
Right, yeah, exactly. But there's still a minute and a half. Biggie's showing lethal. I think that's game. Yep. This is looking good. Wow, that was a heck of a match.
Yeah, that was a good match. Those are the types of Magic matches I like. Looks like they're starting their match back now.
All right. Good deal. Looks like they did some manual sideboarding, and they're going to be jumping into a best of one match. And we're going to be manually tracking the match results after this. Okay. Good deal. Looks like we're actually going to be moving to table 7. We're going to be watching a different match. This is DaNinja's Is It Tempo Aggro situation going up against Azorius combo. So let's see what we can do here.
Wait, what table are we at? Wait. What table we at?
Table 7.
Table 7, all right.
Yep. Yeah, so it looks like we're going into game 2. DaNinja has game 1 locked down.
He got the win over that Sky Lizard.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, the serpent bird. That's the thing. Like, Ikoria had some cool creature types. I don't know if they were quite as cool as the the most recent Ravnica block, because Simic had some really fun ones. Like, do you want a shark, octopus? Like, sure, why not? Like, Hydra, jellyfish,
crab, elf, crab, elf.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff got weird in that set. But I mean, I think Ikoria had some pretty good ones too. And yeah, so like shark bird, like it's actually a bird. It doesn't just have wings. It is a bird. Okay. Like, I don't know how this tracks, but I guess we're going for it. I don't know. It's fun though. I appreciate that stuff. All right, Soulscar Mage getting in for a little bit of damage here. Presumably. When you see 2 untapped lands and white and blue is represented, you can never assume.
It's never a good thing.
Yeah, swinging into open mana. It's like, we'll see what happens here. Even just 2, there are a lot of things that Real TN Lees here could pull off. Let's see. Portable Hole. That's going to find a target.
Okay. We'll take one of those out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Soulscar Mage, you get a lot of value for 1 mana on that card.
Yeah.
Shocking the Steam Vents, Static Discharge to the face, and keeping up Spell Pierce and potentially Mystical Dispute here if they cast out a blue spell in response. Well, okay. That's a blue spell in response,
that's one you can't get rid of.
Yep. That's just gonna resolve. Yep.
Man, I swear, anytime you get in a counter war and you see veto, it's just soul crushing.
Oh, big time. Especially when we've already spent like 2 counter spells on the,
Right.
it's like, all of this was for nothing. Yeah. Feels really bad. Yeah.
It's soul crushing, man.
Absolutely.
Especially like for me, because like I said, when I feel like just having a evening where I just all right, I'm just gonna play like a for real deck tonight in historic rank. I'm just gonna rank up and like get out of diamond or whatever. Like
Sure.
I'll just default and just play my Azorius control. And so it's full of counter spells. So I get in counter wars like with other control decks, and it's like, all right, I just don't want to see a veto. Don't want to see a veto. And then a
Right. Oh
veto
yeah.
pops up.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal. Well, and it's funny in those situations where it's control versus control. A lot of the time, it ends up who sticks to fairy first is the question, right? Like,
Basically, yeah.
yeah. And interestingly enough, there, DaNinja had 3 counter spells in hand to counter that Archmage charm, stealing the Soulscar Mage, and he chose not to play any of them.
Hmm.
Apparently,
That's curious.
yeah, it was an interesting choice. I would have ripped one of those mystical disputes, but I mean, DaNinja is actually a member of the Rivals League, so he knows this game and this deck better than I do.
Right.
So I'm gonna
And I
trust his
mean,
judgment
I
here.
can see it. I can see it because he's probably thinking like, how much damage is it really going to do to me?
Sure, exactly. Yeah,
He's not ripping off spells like me.
yeah, I think you're exactly right. Yeah, DaNinja's deck is built to empower that Soulscar Mage. The other players, the Yorian deck is not. Yeah.
Like, go ahead and play that Urion and flicker the Soul Scar Mage.
Right? Yeah, it's funny. Actually, not all flicker effects are created equally. Um, there are many of them that say return to the battlefield under its owner's control, and that's the case with Yorion. So that's something you really need to be aware of.
Right.
That's actually one of the things that makes Thassa Deep Dwelling so powerful.
Right.
Is it
Because you
says
get to
return,
keep their thing.
you get to keep it. Yeah. Yeah, so you return it under its control, under your control, no matter like who owned it. So you can use a threaten style effect, like a claim the firstborn even to steal one of their things, then blink it at the end of the turn, and you just keep it forever.
Yep.
Yeah,
That was the thing when she first came out. Everybody was like, yeah, I want to create the steel and flicker.
yeah, it's brutal when it works, man. It's yeah, it's mean and quite a bit of fun, if I may say. I've done
Again,
that.
that was another mechanic that everybody was like so high on the horse about when it was getting
Mm-hmm.
ready to come out. And then it was a thing a little bit for a little while, a couple of weeks, and then it died down. Same
Yeah.
thing as the Chariot,
Mm-hmm.
with the Ren and 7 token. Everybody was, oh my god, it's so broken, needs to be banned, and it just went away.
Yeah, it just went away on its own. Exactly. The whole format just when it's funny in those ban announcements, Wizards will say like, we'll see if the format can self-correct. And it's like, well, sometimes it does. Like that's not just lip service. Like sometimes the format absolutely finds an answer and the meta shifts away from it and everything's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, it's easy to call for bans, but every now and then you just gotta let it run for a second. Ooh, that consider coming out of exile with an expressive iteration. I mean, what DaNinja was really hoping for was a land there. Preferably a blue one.
It's rough.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Yeah. Chooses to keep the expressive iteration. It's a powerful card, so I cannot blame him there.
Yeah, because I mean, if your next card isn't a land, then that iteration is like a good hope.
You're right, exactly. Yeah, whereas if you dump it into the graveyard,
You're
and
just
then
going to see one card.
yeah, drop just well, a static discharge. I mean, it's a good card, but it's not what you needed in the moment. So yeah, so the static discharge actually was recently a rot.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god!
goodness!
Wow, how is that?
So I don't know.
Shuffler, the shuffler. It's broken.
Well, yeah, it's funny because we've all experienced that moment where you hit a land pocket where you draw nothing but land. But in this case, DaNinja's now looked at 7 cards and hasn't found a single land in any of them. I mean, there it is. Okay,
My god.
he was due, like for real. That was yeah, that was crazy.
Man, but he's so far behind now, though.
Right. Yeah, and the static discharge recently eroded to have intensity, which is a new digital only mechanic. So in this case, the static discharge would deal 4, which is not enough to deal with Yorion, unfortunately. Choosing to keep the mana up. Taking a hit here.
And then opponent just passes with all that mana open.
Yeah. It's pretty alarming.
It's like
Yeah,
at
because
this point you
now,
don't have to do anything anyway. It's just like sit there and chill.
right. Well, and also DaNinja is now down to 11 minutes on the clock. That is going to be important to note, because this is only game 2 that we're in right now. So if it does go on to a game 3, which looks like is a very real possibility here, that clock might be a factor.
Right.
Yeah, casting the Reckless Charge on the Sage. At least thinking about it. It does grant haste, so that's pretty meaningful here.
Yeah, he can still get in. He can chip in a lot of damage here. You know, if he can, if Real Titan decides to keep swinging and tapping stuff out, he can accidentally end up dying.
That's true. Yeah, it's a very real possibility at this point. All right, so in this case, the ninja's choosing to keep up. It looks like they're going to keep up Mystical Dispute.
Yeah, he's putting Titan in an awkward spot here because now it's like, okay, I can swing, but it may end up costing me. I might end up dying.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, I think if you're if you're teeing on here, I think you need to keep Yorion back, right?
Yeah,
Instead of discharge is a sorcery, so it's this is
I
crash
wouldn't do
through.
anything right now. I would just pass.
Yeah. Over the state of discharge on the face. And again, Mystical Dispute is going to stay up. Should a blue spell come out.
Wow, it resolved.
Yeah. I think it's a really good indicator that there isn't a counterspell in that 3-card hand over there.
It's probably holding to fairy.
Possible. Or Shark Typhoon.
Oh.
Or that. Yep. Wow. Perfect. Yeah, but DaNinja was hovering over that concede button. Ooh, in the portable hole.
Yep. Yeah.
Insult to injury here. That's that.
Yeah.
Very nice. That additional 4 damage on the coming in off that flying shark was exactly what TN needed to close out game 2, and we are going to be moving on to game 3.
Cry.
Love it. I love a good game 3. And so, like we were saying, DaNinja does need to keep an eye on that clock. We're now down to 9 minutes, so that's potentially going to be a factor. So my Siphoner coming out, it's a 4-drop. I can appreciate that. Arcanist, interestingly, had actually not been part of the equation for game 2. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's real interesting. Interesting.
I also love seeing Crash Through here, because if you just need to just cast a spell to trigger Prowess, it gives everything trample and you draw a card. It's just so simple. It just does exactly what you need. And so that's exactly what this deck is doing.
It's definitely one of those cards that can make the opponent go, oops.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, the moment when you have that 1/1, you think, oh, everything's going to be okay. And the Crash Through, like, oh, man, maybe not. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. I mean, there's Play with Fire, Flame Blast Bolt. Those can Flame Blast Bolt can't go face notably, but the Play with Fire can. And you can get a bonus when it does. So that's nice. But it looks like the ninja's going to be focused around the counter battles. That's really what it looks like here.
I gotta say, I haven't this deck that DaNinja's playing. I haven't seen it on Historic, so this is one I didn't expect to see.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, because yeah, Arcanist is in the list, but this isn't like, you know, the Grixis Arcanist or the Rakdos
Arcanist
Arcanist
doesn't usually go in this type of deck. Arcanist usually goes in, I'm thought seizing you 10 times this game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The turn 1 thought season to a turn 2 Arcanist is just, yeah, it feels just lousy. And then of course they always have Crocs on turn 3 just to make sure that, you know,
right.
really
always have it.
Hand.
Always have it.
Always, they always do. It's brutal. And Harmonic Prodigy, that's a card that actually has shown up in a couple of different lists that I think is exceptionally interesting. And I'm actually going to go ahead and pull it up because I want to make sure I get it correct, because it's one of those that I've seen, but I haven't played with myself. It is a 1/3 for 1 and a red human wizard with prowess. So we've seen prowess be pretty valuable in this deck specifically. If an ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. That's end of the battlefield triggers. That's death triggers. That's activated abilities even. Or no, the triggers. They have to be triggered abilities. But anything that triggers on a shaman or a wizard, you just do it twice.
Yep.
Doubling effects is pretty great.
That's the key card in the shaman's deck that was running around. I don't know what happened to that deck. I haven't seen it in a while, but
you know,
I mean,
yeah,
it could be the result of, you know, all the aggro decks being pushed out of the meta.
Possibly, because it was a very powerful, aggressive deck. But I mean, with so much removal running around, because it did need to take a couple of turns to set up. Unlike, you know, decks like goblins they're just gonna punch you in the face really fast. You know, the shaman deck did take a minute to get a couple pieces online. If those pieces did, you know, fire though,
they stuck around.
They stuck around and did a lot of damage. Yeah. Okay, 2 Lava Runner coming down as a 2/2 haster. Nothing wrong with that.
Keeping those counter spells up.
Absolutely. I also appreciate Wizard's Lightning being in DaNinja's hand here, having 2 of them, in fact. Because in this situation, because there is a wizard on the field, it's actually functionally identical to a card that's actually not legal in Historic, although it is on the Arena client, in Lightning Bolt. So that's pretty fantastic. Yeah, 3 damage to any target for 1. Seems good.
Jam that Arcanist.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, Omen of the Sea. Yeah, you let that resolve all day. Good little cantrip, and it, you know, counts as an enchantment entering the field and you can blink it with Yorion, so yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
if they play anything, if Titan plays anything blue here.
yes. Anything blue is gonna get shut down pretty hard. But I gotta say, Theros Beyond Death, actually, it's easy to not think too much about it because it's, you know, been in the rear view for a little bit. But the innovations around enchantments, specifically the Omen cycle, as well as the way that they did auras in that set, very cool stuff. Because they were able to take advantage of enter the battlefield triggers to kind of negate or at least mitigate the 1-for-1 problem that you have, especially with a lot of auras. So I gotta say, like, I was actually a big fan of that set. I think they did a great job with it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Consider putting a land away. Grabbing
lands.
Another Wizard's Lightning. My goodness.
I don't know if Titan has any settles here.
Yeah, they sure could use one. Yep, okay. Wandering Emperor.
That's
Settle the Wreckage. Countered. Well, yeah, it's a different flavor on Settle the Wreckage, but yeah, that gets countered all day.
It's not looking good.
No, this looks like DaNinja's got it. And, you know, the clock that I mentioned was going to be an issue. It's currently at 6 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, but it looks like he's going to be just fine. I mean, unless there's a board wipe right here.
Right. A wrath of God saves you right now. Oh, my goodness.
My goodness, there it is.
My goodness.
All right.
All right, you're going to take 3. And here's the iteration.
Yep. Going down to 5 with the Den of the Bugbear on the field. Not ideal.
Has Titan stabilized is the question. Oh,
That's a
dispute.
great question. Do we have dueling mystical disputes here?
Yeah, I think you got to fight for this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
You could do worse than that.
But this is probably the spot where Titan probably drops it to Fairy.
As a possibility, yep. But Symmetry Sage is a wizard, which makes that Wizard's Lightning now only cost 1. So next turn. Well, so next turn, if DaNinja gets to untap with that Symmetry Sage, then DaNinja has the win in hand. Wizard's Lightning to the face, puts him down to 2. The Symmetry Sage Magecraft trigger triggers. It gets 3 power, swing for the win. That's the hope that DaNinja's aiming for. So let's see. Oh,
whoa! Well, he's probably
interesting.
just he's just banking on the land. He's going to use the land next turn.
Okay. Yeah. But ripping the lightning while the opponent's tapped out.
Oh,
Baneslayer.
No. Oh no. Oh no. You hate to see it, people.
Yeah, that changes things pretty dramatically. And Soulscar Mage. Love you, little guy, but yeah, we're not doing it here.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh, tears. The tears.
Yeah, the lifelink on that Baneslayer Angel is just...
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, it's devastating for DaNinja here. All right. Not impossible. You can never count him out, but...
Well, okay.
It's a tall order all of a sudden.
If he swings, he has to swing with the Baneslayer because he can't let himself stay at 2.
Right. Yeah, burn off the top and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you have a lifelinker here, you need to swing with it. Yeah, exactly. You can't count on your opponent to activate your lifelink. Take 5 to the face. Life swings from from 16 and 2 to 11 and 7, and that is a Riverglide pathway off the top. That is not what DaNinja was hoping to see there. Now, yeah, you activate the Den of the Bugbear and just jam. Try to mitigate as much of that damage as you can, or try to mitigate as much of that life gain, but
it's not looking good.
Nope. Yep, and now DaNinja's hand is empty. That's a Cycled Shark Typhoon. Going to create a 4/4 that can tangle with that Den of the Bugbear, no problem.
Yep, man.
Wow.
Dang, Ninja. Dang, Ninja.
So close. My goodness.
You almost had it. Almost.
Yeah, that Baneslayer Angel really...
That was the turning point.
Yep, that was the play of the game right there, no question. And it's funny too because Baneslayer Angel is one of those cards that was a staple for so many, so many standards for so long. And when it got reprinted, I remember people asking like, "Well, is it good enough now?" Well, it's sure good enough right here. That's for sure.
Yeah, right here is good enough. Today, it's good enough.
Oh, and here comes Teferi as well.
Yeah, let's
tuck the Sage, because the Sage represents the biggest threat on the board right now. And there's an Arcanist, but yeah, that's not gonna be enough. So this is the moment where you cast it out just to show your opponent what you drew as a courtesy and scoop it up. Yep. Yeah, Coma's a pretty brutal card because if you don't answer it immediately, it's
Immediately.
immediately. If you don't answer it before the next upkeep trigger, it's effectively indestructible.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not getting rid of it.
yeah, it's gonna be there. Yeah. And it's multicolor, so it dodges things like Vanishing Verse if you're running those. Like Coma's a pretty brutal
We
card.
need swords. We need swords to plowshares in historic.
100%. Let's go. I'm right there with you. Also, Unbad Lightning Bolt. Just do it. Come on.
You got the little guy who, when he attacks, he shuffles like 4 lightning bolts into your deck. Why do we get to have him, but we can't have lightning bolt?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, we get to have Sanguine Brushstroke, which creates Blood Artist, as well as Blood Artist.
Right.
So come on, people. Like, it's right there. There's a precedent for this. Give us our lightning bolts. Anyway, yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Rakdos Arcanist deck doesn't need lightning bolt. That would be pretty brutal, not gonna lie.
Think we hate Arcanists now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so this match is underway. We've got Biggie versus Psicopato. And this is going to be... So actually in our top 4, we have Azorius Control, Jeskai Control, and Is It Storm? So, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a very diverse meta.
It is what it is, man. Here we are. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, Teferi is definitely... Yeah. Looks
Goblins,
like
come
Teferi
back.
is king here. Yeah, poor goblins. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
also,
no.
Yeah.
Teferi and Wanderer, they're just a match made in heaven right now.
100%. Yeah, they're running the show here. Well, and I mean, can you imagine, like, do you remember when Muxus first came out, how big of a, problem goblins were in Historic? They were just everywhere for a minute.
Remember all the pros played them. Remember they
Right.
had the what was it, the MPL or something, and all the pros, like all of them were playing Muxus.
Yeah, it was like, there was that one weekend, like that, yeah, exactly, that one pro weekend where, yeah, like 60% of the metagame was goblins. It was like, holy cow.
Right.
Like, yeah, they were absolutely everywhere. But fast forward to here we are in Historic. Muxus is still legal. Actually, that entire deck, as I recall, is still legal.
Yep.
But the meta has shifted so much that we're rooting for goblins as the underdog. Like, how nuts is that?
I mean, if you wanna, like I said, if you want to rank up in Historic right now, I would not recommend anything that's like aggro, because you're gonna get dealt with swiftly.
Right. Oh,
like
100%.
you can do it. You can rank up. I mean, you can pretty much rank up playing anything if you're consistent with it. But
sure.
you're gonna go through a lot of headache if you're playing aggro.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I've tried playing some weird janky combos in Historic, and I would highly recommend that anybody out there thinking of cool, weird, janky Historic combos, keep them to the play queue. Like, if you want to have fun, please do. Like, the game is fun. It's here. I mean, it's a game. We're here to have fun. But yeah, don't take that. Like, if you take that out to the ladder, you're going to be disappointed in a lot of situations, because control's pretty darn powerful. All right, Planet Cleansing going to the bottom. The Hallowed Fountain is going to be drawn to hand, because otherwise Biggie was going to miss that pretty crucial turn 5 land drop.
Pretty crucial. All
right, they're going to shock in the Hallowed Fountain, because at this stage in the game, 2 damage is no big deal. Meanwhile, an untapped land is a big deal. So, all right. Bringing Yorion to hand. Memory Deluge coming out of Psychopato's hand. They have 5 cards in their hand otherwise. Biggie's going to let it resolve, but I got to be honest, that Dovin's Veto sitting in hand, looking kind of tempting here. By eliminating drawing 2 cards with some selection, that could really put Psicopato potentially in a bad situation, although we won't know because we don't have access to see their hand. But Biggie chooses to let it resolve, knowing that Dovin's Veto is going to be more valuable, even if they don't cast it next turn, but the threat of having it up is going to dictate how Psicopato plays. Meanwhile, if you counter the Memory Deluge and they have Teferi in hand,
now
that's
you're
Windmill
losing.
Slam, and yeah,
you're losing now.
Yeah, exactly, and you're behind. So yeah, at this point, I mean, Biggie, I think correctly recognized that they just can't afford to tap out right now. Yeah.
But that delay with that deluge on the stack, it lets your opponent know you have a counter spell.
Yeah, exactly.
I've gotten into the habit of like when I pass my turn, I always have my cursor over my resolve button spot so I can like hurry up and hit it because I don't want them to get that information to know I have counter in my hand.
Yeah, I can appreciate that because I know, like, going up against control players, I have that moment of like, was that a pause? I don't think that was a pause. Because those pauses, you can, I mean, they do give a lot of information to your, to the other player. But yeah, that's always fun. That moment where you're moving through and the portable hole actually not a wonderful response. I mean, not a great answer to the strict proctor because it is an ETB trigger. However, the portable hole and the March of Otherworldly Light would have cost the same because they're both targeting a 2-drop. So in this case, Biggie's choosing to use the portable hole because March of Otherworldly Light will be able to hit bigger things later in the game if need be.
Yep. You definitely want that proctor out of there because they're going to be dropping those Lotus lands.
Mm-hmm. Oh, big time.
If they get that far ahead on mana, it's just bad.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Blood Sun is on the field now. Rogren Triome no longer has the ability that it comes into play tapped. So that entering the battlefield untapped because of the Blood Sun is pretty fantastic here, too.
It's better than any dual land out there now.
100%. Exactly. With the blood, yeah, exactly. With the Blood Sun on the field, Triomes are just so much better. They're actually fantastic. As if they needed any help. Let's be honest. Triomes are great. But
yeah, I'm so excited about all of the new Triomes.
Oh my goodness, me too, man. I can't wait. Well, I love how they truly completed the cycle by even giving them cycling.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Even though cycling isn't a theme in New Capenna, but they're like, nah, these are Triomes. Let's give them the cycling 3.
Yep, they did the right thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. But so because the Triome entered the battlefield last turn, I think it's very safe to say the Psicopato does not have the Lotus Field in hand. But they're gonna cast the Valakut Awakening and hopefully change
probably
that.
Gonna find it. He's probably gonna find it now. It's one of those a Lotus Lane. Let's see it.
Right? Because if they have it, they're jamming it. No question about it.
Nope.
Ah. All right, dropping the
and bad enough, Biggie is missing lands drops here. So
that's true. That is rough. So the Shark Typhoon is going to cycle for 1 here, creating the 1/1 Shark, but more importantly, drawing a card and hopefully digging into that next land drop.
How is Biggie missing on lands and he has played 3 Omen of the Seas?
That's a great question. Well, I'm just thinking with those 3 Omens too. I mean, Yorion is going to have a field day when they finally hit the field.
Psicopato cannot let that resolve.
Oh no, that's going to be brutal. Yeah. All right, Narset. Biggie definitely wanted that Narset on the field prior to the Valakut Exploration or the Valakut Awakening. But alas, here we are. It can still do some great work. And it's another permanent that Yorion can reset, so that's pretty nice.
Yep. Man, Urion's gonna be stupid.
Oh yeah. Wow, and Biggie is spoiled for choice here.
Yeah, I'm taking the veto here, honestly.
I mean veto or Shark Typhoon. I mean both are great. I mean the problem with taking the veto, I mean not that it's a bad choice. Like I think you're fine either way, but knowing that you're putting 2 Shark Typhoons on the bottom of the library, I mean, then you've already cycled 1. So that Shark Typhoon is basically off the menu for the rest of the game if you do that.
Yeah. That's
so true. But to be honest, you're right. Veto is fantastic. Another Valakut Awakening with Narset on the field.
I feel like with only 1 veto in hand, you're super vulnerable right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's the Lotus Field.
And it's for that reason exactly, with them having that much mana available, is why I would want 2 vetoes.
Yeah,
Not that
that's fair.
You would only have 1 up right now, but still.
Still, yeah. But you could run it out here and still have a veto for next turn, yeah.
I mean, you don't fight over the Narset here. Let her go.
In this situation, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Don't do it, man.
Yeah, it looks like Biggie's thinking about it. Especially because Fateful Absence gives you the clue token, so you can just draw a card.
Right. I mean, what are you fighting for? You got a handful of cards anyway, so let it go.
Right. Well, and seeing a Wanderer and Teferi and Shark Typhoon and Yorion, I mean, there are answers. You know, Biggie's got answers to, or you know, Biggie has threats that can close this game out. It's really, yeah, what I'm trying to say here. Meanwhile, Psicopato has five cards in hand and all the mana in the world.
All the mana. Go ahead and drop that Hullbreaker horror.
Right? Yeah, just do it. Jam it. Come on, let's see it.
Oh, but he can be countered now. That's why you don't see him anymore.
Right. Yeah, in historic.
They neutered my boy.
Man, Hullbreaker's such a crazy card. Like, I mean, Hullbreaker is so good. When Jinja Tax's Progress Timer got spoiled, everyone just thought, well, why would I run this when I can run Hullbreaker?
Right.
Like, and that card's busted. So yeah.
Yeah, I was so upset when they neutered Hullbreaker because I mean I had a sweet Hullbreaker and Lear deck. It was black and blue. My God,
wow, nice.
I love playing that deck in Historic. And then they neutered both of them. They neutered Lear too.
Yeah. No, those two together, like, my goodness. Like, well, and especially in a black blue situation, like being able to pull kill spells out of the graveyard and bounce and counter stuff with it, like,
it was brutal.
That's insane. All right, Dovin's Veto hitting the Memory Deluge. The Memory Deluge that would dig for 7.
I can bring that deck back and explore.
There you go. Yeah. It's funny. So on my stream, I do viewer challenges on Friday, and on the Explorer got announced on Thursday. Like Thursday evening, I had DMs being like, "Are we gonna be able to challenge you to Explorer tomorrow?" I was like, "All right, I guess I gotta get you brewing." Like, you know.
Oh my God,
this is fun. It was like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
All these cards he's drawing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that Seagate Restoration. I can see why they wanted that Narset gone. Yeah. Another Triumph underneath Battlefield. So they actually hardcast a Seagate Restoration and still have 4 mana up.
It's crazy.
It's not bad. Yeah. But it's funny when Explorer, when I like really sat down and tried to, the first thing I brewed was Garuda. I brewed up a Dimir Garuda list with, you know, doing the Thassa Spark Double, Mirror Hall Mimic, like all that dumb stuff. I was like, let's go. Let's get back to Blinky. Wow. Yeah. Here comes another Shark Typhoon. My goodness.
Let's get back to the Garuda slot machine.
Yeah, exactly. Let's spin the wheel of Garuda. Let's see what happens. Yeah. All right. In this situation, if you're Biggie, I mean, I'm a total Timmy. I'm a big time Timmy. I want my stuff big and dumb. Do you just hardcast Shark Typhoon here?
Like,
do you just slap it out on the board? Okay, choose not to, but I'm just.
I mean, I could see an argument for it, yeah, but I don't think that it would. Either A, it probably wouldn't resolve, or B, it's probably going to get removed.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. Yeah, I think cycling it at the end step for one big shark makes way more sense. Even though that'll probably still get removed. Looking at Psicopato's hand, yeah.
I think Biggie is just like too far, like way behind on card advantage here now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the moment that Seagate Restoration hit, like, yeah, it's funny. I mean, we were talking about Teferi being a win con. I mean, I think that Seagate might have actually been the win con here.
Yeah. I remember when Seagate was first spoiled and everybody was like, oh my God, this is so bad. Like, it costs so much. And like, for me to draw any cards, I need to have cards in hand. And that late in the game, if I have cards in hand, why do I want to draw more cards? And it's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Well, and to be honest, I was kind of on that train. I was like, I wasn't like saying this is awful, because like there's definitely an upside to it. Like, if you can hit it, great. And downside is it's just a land. Okay. Like, if you just need a land, you get a land. Rad. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I'll probably still run a couple of them, but how often am I ever going to actually cast this? But no, you're right, man. In the deck that wants to cast it,
it's brutal.
It's brutal. Yeah. No, and to not have a maximum hand size for the rest of the game, that's big.
Man, that Emperor is just so clutch.
Absolutely. Well, and knowing, I mean, given that Lotus Field is online, and Psicopato just drew just drew a third of their deck. Again, being a little hyperbolic, but still, like, that's what it feels like, right? Biggie knows nothing I cast is going to resolve. Or stick around for any meaningful amount of time. So, like, Yorion's not resolving. A hard cast Shark Typhoon is just way not happening. Fortunately, the cycle is an activated ability, so that's very difficult to counter. Actually, I believe impossible given Psychopato's list. Even though Stifle is historic legal, just throwing that. And another Seagate Restoration.
One. Yeah, this is not good.
Ouch. And Biggie doesn't have a counterspell. They're going to crack the Omen of the Sea.
Try to find one.
Yeah, getting some scry action. Well, there's the Archmage's Charm. You want that on top, but you need it in your hand.
Yeah, because it's not. I don't think this charm is going to resolve. Oh, he just cracked the Omen of the Sea. I thought he cast one.
No, he cracked it to scry too. Yeah.
All right,
but now
he's gonna scry
Shark Typhoon with 3 mana up, Archmage's Charm. If Psicopato has a counterspell, now's the time. And what are the chances that they don't have a counterspell in that hand?
What?
Well, if they do, they choose not to use it. Interesting.
Okay, he wants a Teferi.
Yeah, but here comes just Teferi into a just clean board. Yeah. And Biggie also kind of tipped his hand a little bit there by using the scry and then the cycle to show basically I don't have a counterspell in my hand.
Well, here you got to jam Yorion, right?
Totally. You got to go for max value. Yeah.
You just got to go for it. Jam Yorion.
Yeah, March of the really like going for the Strict Proctor first because Yorion is an ETB trigger. All right, that's fine. I can appreciate that. Nice, splitting the damage between the Planeswalkers, hoping to take out the Wandering Emperor before she has an opportunity to create some tokens, because we have seen what she's capable of today. And I think that is correct threat assessment. Oh, no. Marshmallow really like going after the portable hole.
Oh, no.
That's a great hit. Yeah. So the Strict Proctor's back.
Well, you could go for the kill on their Proctor, but then you can't play Yorion.
Right.
Oh, no. Or you could have let the Proctor block, and then you could have used the land to kill it, and then you'd still be able to play Yorion.
What they're doing here is they're actually going to be using March of Otherworldly Light's other ability that has an additional cost to cast a spell. You may exile any number of white cards from your hand. They exile the Wrath of God, which is not particularly useful in that situation to pay the 2. Yeah. That way they still have Yorion. And
I always forget about that.
Yeah, right? Like it's an easy piece of text to forget about. And to be honest, when I was first looking at those marches, I kind of got hung up on that. Because I was like, with March of Otherworldly Light, do I really want to go down cards to remove my opponent's stuff? And the answer is no. In most situations, you don't. But in most situations, you also don't have to. So, yeah. But in this situation, it was a great option that opened up the mana for Yorion. And Biggie's going to be drawing a couple of cards with the Omen of Seas coming back. So that's pretty nice. Well, so and being able to scry.
Putting up all fight he can.
Yeah, there's that main deck rest in peace. That is just straight to the bottom. No, like, do not pass go, not collect $200. Get that out of here.
Give me that veto.
Yep.
Oh, no. Do you take the veto or do you take the deluge here? Okay, he's taking the veto. Oh, yeah. Well, he can't have it up this turn, though.
No, unfortunately. Now, had they played out a Ganjo as a land, which I don't believe they hit their land drop that turn, veto would have been up this turn. We'll see if that's relevant.
Okay. Psicopato got all the mana in the world here to do whatever they want.
Yep. Farewell with no creatures on board. Yep. That'll do.
I'm surprised he didn't get rid of the enchantments.
Followed by a Niv Mizzet Parun. with Tef on board. Yeah, actually,
Wish
they
you
could
had
have
God now, don't you?
Well, and okay, that was those are the spells they actually cast. They cast 11 mana worth of spells, and they have 3, 4, 5, 6 mana up still. That's bonkers. And this is all game 1, folks. Teferi gonna try to tuck the Niv Mizzet here.
That's not gonna save your Teferi.
Nope, sure isn't. You can get Niv off the battlefield for the moment, but yeah, Trigger's on stack now. Tef's gone. And Biggie looking, yeah, seriously considering that concede button. Chooses to take it. Yeah, I think that the turning point there was that Seagate Restoration.
Yeah.
That was huge.
So many cards.
Yeah, when you watch the animation and the opponent just, where you see all those cards just fly off the library into the hand, like, oh no.
It's like the ocean just pouring into the hand.
Yeah, no, this is not good. This is nothing but bad for me. And that's exactly how it turned out. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I do believe Biggie played a really good game there. It was just that one, like we were saying earlier, when you're in a control mirror, whoever draws the most cards is probably going to win that game. And that's exactly what happened there.
He drew the most cards and he had the most mana.
Like, by a lot, actually. Yeah.
Anytime you're casting, what was it, 11, 12 mana worth of stuff and still have mana open?
Yeah, it's bonkers. Yeah, because it was, Farewell at 6, and then Niv is 6 as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, 12 mana. 12 mana worth of stuff. Yeah, I said 11 previously. I was mistaken. No, it's 12. My goodness, that's just wow. Yeah.
That's what you call losing magic when you're facing that.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, there's no question about... Yeah, and that's why, I mean, and that was one of those situations where Psicopato didn't have lethal on the board that turn.
Right.
But in 1 or 2 turns, oh yeah, definitely. And Biggie saw it, and we're looking at a game 1 situation. That was a pretty long game too. So, in the interest of clock and as well as just kind of, I don't know, personal, I don't know, just but valuing one's time. Like, let's just scoot this up and move on.
Let me go ahead and scoop it up because I know I'm not coming back in this.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel like when I'm on the ladder and somebody hits me with the second Divine Purge. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to value my time and I'm just going to step away from this. Yeah, and that's my personal philosophy on that. And it seems like Biggie and I are on the same page. Now, to be fair, Biggie did wait until it was very clear that Psicopato had the win, because they could have hit a really epic land pocket and maybe didn't have that many answers in hand, despite that just insane hand size.
That ocean that flew into their hands.
Exactly. Like, because you never know. Like, variance is pretty crazy. Stuff can happen. But no, they got it. They got exactly what they needed.
Yeah, it's happened to me before. I've drawn a grip of cards and then it'd be like 1 spell and 4 lands.
It's like, yep, okay, great. Yeah. Yeah, it feels bad. Feels bad when that happens. So the irrigated farmland entering tapped, Hall of Storm Giants entering untapped, because it's turn 2. And actually, yeah, Biggie, this was a very interesting keep for Biggie, because it was a 4-land hand with Omen of the Sea and 2 Fateful Absences. So that's a hand where you're like, okay, Omen, counting on you to get me something.
Right.
And sure enough, they drew a Shark Typhoon for turn and then hit the Search for Azcanta off the Omen of the Sea. I mean, yeah, that worked out just fine. And they drew into a Malevolent Hermit. I mean, there's been a couple of really good draws for Biggie. So turned out to be a pretty decent keep here.
Biggie,
that could have gone either way.
You got to stop Seagate Restoration. You have to stop it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you let that resolve all day. But at the same time, I can appreciate Psicopato using that Fateful Absence on the Malevolent Hermit, because that's a counter. I mean, they can eliminate a counterspell from Biggie's hand effectively by doing that.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of what you got to do. You don't feel good doing it, but...
Gonna put Urion in hand now?
Looking at 3 untapped mana across the board.
I don't think I would have done anything.
Yeah. I mean, pulling
I
your
would've-
Orient hand as an ability, so it can't be counters. That's fine. But yeah, holding up your mana and just cracking the clue maybe on the end step or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
could have made sense. But I mean, Search is great. Search for Count is a really cool card. Here comes Valakut Awakening. Okay, putting one card on the bottom, drawing 2. The fact that Valakut Awakening replaces itself is pretty great. Not gonna lie.
Yep.
Search showing a land. I mean, I think you take that here, right?
Got to
Yeah.
take the land.
And you shock it in because your opponent's not really threatening your life total anyway, so need that untapped mana. So it looks like you're going to be disturbing the Malevolent Hermit. Comes into play as the Benevolent Geist. Apparently, ooh, Archmage's Charm coming down. Fair enough. I just find it funny that the Hermit was so grumpy in life, but after death was super jolly. It just
He was benevolent.
exactly, yeah. He perked up a little bit after death. Not sure why that is, but okay. At least he's happy now, right?
It's like, I'm happy to be dead.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Yeah, actually, come to think of it, it's kind of a yeah. I don't think I want to unpack that any further. Yeah, that gets weird pretty fast. All right, so Search for Azcanta showing the Omen of the Sea. Decent draw, nothing wrong with that. And Biggie's just going to cast it out, hoping to dig for more lands and put those enchantments on the field that Yorion can blink later. Ooh, Baneslayer.
That Baneslayer
That's looking pretty good.
is the lady.
This looks to me, okay, what I would do in this situation, leave Baneslayer right where it is. Leave these cards exactly as they are. Draw that island.
Exactly.
Yeah. And just sit back with a smile on your face. And keep that Dovin's Veto up.
Sure.
Well, and Psicopato now down to 4 cards in hand, so I can appreciate hitting the Memory Deluge with that Veto. Not a bad choice. Now we are in game 2 here. Psicopato is up 1. Biggie is down in the match, but I mean, coming pretty hot here in this first game, looking good. So anything can happen. What?
What do you wait? What? Wow, really?
Yeah, I'm confused by that. I mean, I'm surprised, but I'm assuming Biggie has a plan. So yeah, Biggie putting the Baneslayer Angel into the graveyard now. Pulling Yorion to hand. They know something that we don't know, apparently. But yeah, the again, this is actually our semifinals. So the winner of this will be moving on to the final match of the night and has the opportunity to be enshrined in the Pizza Box Hall of Fame, which you've been seeing on all those lovely BRB screens. It's also in the Pizza Box Discord.
They won't be goblins.
Unfortunately, will not be goblins today. Yeah. Wow, Archmage's Charm and a Memory Deluge on the top. Neither of those are lands, unfortunately.
I think you put the Deluge in the grave here. Keep the charm.
Unfortunately, actually, it was a scry effect, so it would go to the bottom of the library, which is really a bummer because yeah, you want that in the graveyard. Or actually, what they could have done is they could have put it on top, so the Search for Azcanta could have dumped it into the yard. So that would have been an option. Comes a Memory Deluge.
I don't think you can fight over this, but because now you're just open.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, those Fateful Absences might come in handy because they can hit Planeswalkers after all, but
Oh, here comes the Lotus.
Yep. Bam, there it is. Right on cue. Also notice no hesitation on Psychopato's part. Like, I'm going to hold priority. You better believe I'm holding priority, and I'm going to follow it up with this. And at this point, the March for Otherworldly Light can get rid of the Proctor, and Psicopato is perfectly fine with that. Proctor did their job.
Proctor ramped me. I'm good to go.
Exactly. In a big way. So now they had an opportunity to put the Memory Deluge in the yard. They chose not to. And cast out Yorion with 2 mana up. Supreme Will. Yeah, they have 2 mana up, not 3, unfortunately.
Yep, and now Psicopato knows you don't have counter magic, so the floodgates are open.
Absolutely. Yep, whatever Psychopato's holding, it's going to hit the field this turn, and that is a God Eternal Kefnet. That is a card that I think is highly underrated.
It is.
So I'm glad to see it here.
Now those, let's draw into those sea gates and double cast them.
My goodness. Yeah, exactly. So God Eternal Kefnet is a 4/5 for flyer for 4. I mean, that alone is already pretty solid. And when it dies, it goes into your, you may put it in your library, throw it from the top, which Psychopato elects to do here. And it also has the ability that at the beginning of each of your turns, you can reveal the top card of your library before your draw, I believe. And you can just cast that spell. So you just get, if it's an instant or sorcery, that is. So you basically just get free draws if you're
Yep.
if you're in a deck like this that is a lot of instants and sorceries. So pretty great.
Well, Biggie catching up on mana here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely important. At what point, if you're Biggie, and I mean your opponent's at 14, at what point do you animate the Hall of Storm Giants and start swinging?
I think it's. I mean, I think it's getting. You probably want to wait until Psicopato taps out for something, if that even happens. But
yeah, I'm about to say the turn that, I mean, looking at that amount of mana, if they're tapping out, I'm pretty scared for about what they're doing.
Well, that Kefnet's about to come back.
Yep.
You got to counter it to make it go away.
Right. Yeah, because the other Faithful Absence not going to do the job. It's just going to delay the inevitable.
You don't animate the land now because then you leave yourself wide open.
Yeah. Especially with the Archmage Charm in hand. I mean, there is.
I mean,
yeah, because if I'm
you
seeing that correctly,
hold up the charm to counter the Kefnet, and then maybe make a shark, and then animate the land and swing in and try to get in for lethal.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh my god. Well, they're probably thinking I could just kill the Kefnet.
Sure.
Oh my god.
Well, they have the Dovin's Veto.
Oh wait.
Scantic grabbing up a Shark Typhoon. All right, double Typhoons. So Sharknado 1 and 2.
I think it may be time to jam a Shark Typhoon.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. They got to do something. And Psicopato is running low on cards. I mean, the Memory Deluge is going to restock them in a pretty big way.
Yeah, but all it takes is one Seagate here. They got a Seagate.
Oh, yeah. That'd be nuts.
Kefnet.
Comes Kef, yep. And Biggie letting the delay sit for a second, you know, make it look like, I mean, they had the Psychopato's aware of one Shark Typhoon in hand.
But I mean, if I'm Psicopato, I'm knowing he doesn't have a counter, because if he did, why would you let Kefnet resolve?
Right, great question. All right, going for the Omen of the Sea Crack. Scrying. Wandering Emperor could be good here.
Yeah, gets rid of that Kefnet temporarily.
Right, because the God Eternals, even if they go into exile, can go back into the library. Wow.
Oh man, well, they'll get to see 2 cards with Deluge.
Yeah. And then draw exactly those 2 cards. So there's no selection, but draw 2 for 2. I mean, That's awesome. All right, here comes the sun, the blood sun. So many cards. My goodness.
Gonna swing with that Kefnet. I think he's sniffing Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sniffs the Emperor.
Yep. Sure does. Yeah, so Psicopato being very patient here. Like, you know what? I don't need 4 damage right now. I'm good. Test of Talents on the Memory Deluge.
Oh.
That'll do. Ouch. And the timer is displaying for Biggie, meaning that they are under 12 minutes now. And this is game 2. So, I mean, if Psicopato wins this, that's that. Psicopato moves on. But if Biggie wins this game, game 3 might have to be a bit of a speed round.
Yep. I've used Test of Talents to take out all of my opponent's vetoes too.
Ooh, that's nasty. Biggie's looking at the Shark Typhoon. Do we do it? Do we go for it? Yeah, there it is. The Hardcast Shark Typhoon.
It's time.
I mean, at this point, Psicopato has all the mana in the world. So mana advantage, you're already behind. There's no way around it. But they're down to 4 cards. So it's like, okay, you know, here it is. This is what I've got. Do you have the counter? And I think if Psicopato had it, they probably would have jammed it by now. So
right. It wouldn't be all of this heavy thought. He's thinking about, can I deluge and find a veto?
Right.
Oh.
Or the delay was simply because they had to click on the do a little bit of mana math for the Thassa's intervention. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, well that's one less counterspell.
Yeah. Well, and Thassa's Intervention and Supreme Will are 2 counterspells that we've seen from Psicopato this game that I do just want to give a quick shout out to, because they're counterspells, and yes, and that's the primary mode where you want to use them, but they also have a card draw mode on them that can help you refill your hand, so they're just never dead. Like, those are just phenomenal utility spells.
Yep. Oh boy.
Yep, here comes Tef. Psicopato once again. Yes, I will gladly hold priority and uptake this Planeswalker. Thank you. So the Fateful Absence, I mean, you got to just Fateful Absence. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, so, okay, here comes Wandering Emperor. Psicopato accepting that, okay, I do need to close the game out
has a counter
at some point.
Here. Yeah, he had a counter because that was the only assurance he had to say, okay, I can swing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Didn't have it last turn. Had it this turn, and there it was.
It's like, what do you kill here? what are you killing now? You kill Teferi or you kill Kefnet? Because both of them are just ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, both of them are really strong threats. Both of them have game-ending potential, and they're both card draw outlets. I mean, in one way or another. Archmage's Charm, my goodness. Psicopato only had 3 cards left in hand, and one of them just happened to be a hard counter spell.
He has a flip as Cancer. He could have searched for a counter.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Looks like Biggie's setting up to do a huge shark token here. Which,
like
if
this is his
sticks,
Hail Mary.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it sticks, that could work, but that's a big
long shot. It's a long shot. Oh man.
Niv Mizzet Perun coming down for Psicopato.
Okay, so you make the shark here. And then you get your draw, and then you get the dig off as Cancer. You can find answers.
Yeah, it's possible. Absolutely. I gotta say, one of the things I always appreciated about Niv Mizzet Perun, in the artwork as well as in the animation, just when he crosses his arms, just how smug he looks. Like, it's just like, I got this. I know I got this. Yeah. Right. It's an 8/8 shark.
Okay.
All right.
It's a Teferi. Not dead yet.
Yeah. That could do some work. Manually tapping lands for Teferi. And Psicopato was able to use Teferi to... Oh, and there's Archmage's Charm. Triggering Niv, cycling the Rogran Triome. 4 mana up into the Dovin's Veto.
Oh.
Now, in this situation, Biggie did just win this counter war. However, well, just kidding. Okay, here comes the tails end. So I spoke too soon, clearly. But Niv Mizzet is just, again, that smug dragon face is just loving the stack right now.
He's machine gunning Biggie's face.
Yep. For every single spell cast, Psicopato is drawing a card and dealing 1 damage to any target. So yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, Psicopato. Actually, in New Capenna, there's going to be a ton of Scoot payoffs too. So I have a feeling with the Alliance ability, where whenever a creature enters the battlefield, something happens, like it's landfall, but for creatures. Like, you know, I think we're going to see Scoot Swarm make a comeback again. I think we're going to see Naya Scoots in a big way. At least I'm going to build it. I don't know what anybody else is doing, but I'm going to try it.
Naya Scoots.
Naya Scoots. Go.
Man, we haven't seen a good Naya deck in like a while. I mean, there was that one that had that played that Saga. When you play spells, you get to put counters on your creatures and all that stuff, but it wasn't like super dominant for like a long time or nothing.
Yeah, I think the best one that we've got right now is the Naya Runes list. That Runes list in Standard.
That made everybody cry for like the first couple of weeks, and then now it's like, all right.
Yeah, well, it's funny because that deck it like comes and goes. Like we've seen it step into these tournaments and still come in big, but at the same time, like when the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Set Championship happened, and like a bunch of people, including the reigning world champion, brought it as the Yuta Takahashi, that is, brought it as in Alchemy, they got dump trucked. Like that deck got destroyed in that tournament. It had like a 33% win rate or something just awful. And it's like, well, all right, maybe this isn't the, you know, the huge ban-worthy monster we think it is. You know, like, and
yeah, I mean, the deck is not hard to deal with if you prepare yourself to deal with it, you know?
Yeah. Arcana of Emiria is great. Anything with like just a good removal suite can go a long way too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the deck is trying to play big creatures or play creatures and make them big. That's it. So if you can deal with creatures on the board, like, well, okay, like, yeah, you can get around that deck. Anyway, we have a game going. We're in. This is the finals here at the Slice of Historic on this lovely Sunday. We've had a couple of delays. Thank you everybody for your patience, and we are in. This is it. This is the championship bout. The winner of this is going to be enshrined in the Pizza Box Hall of Fame. Oh, Tail's End countering the Lotus Field trigger. You'll love to see
Mystical
it.
Dispute. Let's go. No.
Right? Oh, a Mystical Dispute on that Tail's End would have been brutal. And that's exactly what Tamyun needed to do there. But alas, is not to be.
He's playing
Tail's End. Awesome card. Tamyun casting Solve the Equation. Sorcery Tutor for any instant, or you can search up any instant or sorcery card, reveal it, put it in the hand for 3. I'm very intrigued as to what they're digging for.
Mastery.
Yeah.
Mastery or Storm, one of the two.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. Here I'm thinking like, yeah, what, you know, why in the world would you play a tutor? And it's like, oh, they're playing combo, of course. Right. Yeah.
I don't really see him winning this because Psicopato has too many counters.
Yeah, I mean, Psicopato is just comfortably throwing a turn 3 Teferi Hero of Dominaria.
It's like, good on you for making it to the finals, but
right, it's exactly. I mean, Psicopato is basically saying, and they're gonna have 5 mana up.
Stupid.
It's stupid. Yeah, but to be fair, Tamyun's deck is it is a graveyard-based combo deck, and they grabbed the Otherworldly Gaze, which tells me they may already have the Mizzix Mastery in hand. They just
Right.
need to get
Stuff in the grave.
they just need to fill the yard. Exactly. Otherworldly Gaze also shockingly underrated. That card is really cool.
And I think Psicopato's the one who has doesn't he have like 3 resting pieces in his sideboard?
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
So yeah, this is already an uphill battle, but it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, this game 1 is definitely looking like Psychopata's game. The advantage is definitely tipped in their favor here, no question. Yeah, being able to drop a turn 3 Teferi and follow it up with a Wandering Emperor or just a Memory Deluge, just casually.
Well, no, Tamyun is in the finals for a reason, so I guess we can't
True.
write him off yet.
Yep. Well, that's the cool thing about combo decks like this is they can come out of nowhere and just seal the deal. So we'll see.
This Teferi on the board though is he's getting the loyalty steady getting up there.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. Yeah. Because if you're not familiar, Teferi of Hero Dominaria has an ultimate. I believe it's a -7 that gives you an emblem that says, "Hey, you don't win the game, but you basically win the game."
You basically do.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Every time you draw, you're exiling something.
It's so brutal. And again, they can hit lands. So can't count that out. All right, Wandering Emperor coming down. Or at least being cast, I should say. There it is. It resolves.
So this is main phase for Psicopato?
Yep. This is pre-combat main phase.
So okay.
Not another Lotus Field because that allows Teferi to untap 2 Lotus Fields. Seems good.
Man, I don't see any way out for Tamyun here.
I think they need to get a Dragonstorm into the graveyard along with Bladewing the Risen.
I mean, that's how the combo works, but it's not going to resolve.
No, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, it's staring on 3 Archmage Charm and 6 untap mana. 7, actually, just to make matters worse.
We need a Beseechu who shelters all.
Yes. Yeah, something that can make that uncounterable.
I think he's just like, what can I do here? So, okay. His way around this would be if he's running Spell Pierces. Is he running any Spell Pierces?
Yeah. That's a very important question.
Because if he's running Spell Pierces, then, I mean, in theory, he could just be like trying to dig up Spell Pierces and have that to protect the combo.
Sure. Here comes Seagate Restoration.
But he's only got another turn here.
Right. I mean, this is
that Seagate Restoration out. I mean, he could just save that the next turn and just exile his whole board if he wanted to, but
that's a scary prospect. Yep, there's the ocean just pouring into their hand once again.
There's another Seagate.
Yeah, my goodness. Roggen Triumph, drop it for turn. Here comes another Samurai token.
Tamyun, it's now or never.
Exactly. This is one of those situations where I want to see what tricks they have up their sleeve because they need to bust out whatever they've got. I mean, Psicopato is playing a control deck, but they have played it very aggressively so far, and it's working. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's working. And they have another Seagate in hand, too, which is really terrifying.
Yeah, Teferi's going to ultimate here, and this is going to be over.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out Jess got control. Pretty good.
Who would have thought?
It's crazy,
Who
right?
would have thought? So they get one more. He's going to get one more turn because Teferi's a -8.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, Blood Sun, that means another Lotus Field is going to hit the field.
So now it's do or die time. But
right.
I mean, what can you really do with all of this going on here?
I don't know. Yeah, because with those Archmage's charms, I mean, all four of Psicopato's Archmage's charms are in hand right now.
He can cast 2 of them. Well, no,
Yeah.
he's gonna be able to cast 3 of them because Teferi's gonna untap that Lotus right there.
Yep. Absolutely. Not even getting full value off that untap, but still untapping 3 mana. Like, if I were them, I would have even cycled the Rug and Triumph with one of the other Lotus Fields just to have 2 to untap. I don't know. Like, maybe that's me being greedy, but that's, yeah.
Who would have thought a Just God Control this running Lotus Field would be good?
I know, it's nuts, right? All right, here comes the Prismari command, just trying to stave off that Teferi ultimate. And Psicopato just has all the choices in the world for how to counter this. In the end,
He's gonna burn one here. Maybe he was baiting. Maybe he was baiting.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, he's burned one. Got to go for the combo now with 2 spell piercers up, probably.
Yeah. Kind of the best hope for Tamyun here. Oh, Niv,
Oh,
okay.
Man. That ain't gonna get it though.
Not quite. Yeah. The uncounterability is nice. However, there's a Fateful Absence just hanging out in that hand too.
Teferi's on ultimate here. It's over with.
Yeah, you're right.
And here comes the Seagate. Exile your whole board.
Actually, the only problem is how many cards are left in Psicopato's library. Does
Oh, yeah, that's
lose
true.
in the game? Yeah, but they cycle a card to get rid of Niv Mizzet.
Right. My
Ouch.
land is effectively a removal spell.
Right? Yeah, that's brutal.
Man, this is just a straight up beatdown.
Oh yeah. Well, and at this point, they can just sit back, relax, and enjoy, or hit a Valakut Awakening and just ping down and just eliminate Tamyun's lands. Yeah, if they discard 5 cards here, they draw 6.
Get rid of all the lands.
All the lands are gone. I mean, that's if you want to save them, spare the treasure tokens, which you don't necessarily have to do here either. I mean, I gotta say, good on Tamyun for sticking through this, because I think I would have scooped a couple turns ago.
Yeah. My God.
Teferi.
Teferi. I'm sorry I have to do this. That's what he always says.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my God. Brutal, man. Brutal.
Yeah. No, this is nasty. Okay, did they actually click on all the lands? That's the question. Was there I think I got them all there. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna resolve so slowly. That's brutal. This is hard to watch.
Is Teferi a win con?
I mean, it's a fair question.
He's back.
No, yeah, exactly. And Psicopato had the choice, like, do I throw Teferi or do I throw Niv Mizzet Perun? I mean, yeah, they're doing just fine.
Freaking Teferi.
No lands to be had for Tamyun. Yeah, it is all over but the crying here.
All right. Psicopato just piling it on here.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Psicopato, we know. He's already dead. Pact of Negation? All right. Props to Tamyun for having a sense of humor. That was fantastic. Not gonna lie.
Oh my god.
Like when it paused, I was like, "What is happening?"
Oh my god. When I seen
All right,
the priority, when I seen that priority being held, I was like, huh? What could he what?
Oh, that was
Oh
fantastic.
my god. I gotta hit the freezer laugh on that one.
Right. Oh, fantastic. All right.
Yep, there goes those resting pieces.
Yep, absolutely. Knowing what Tamyun's trying to set up. Now, you know, like you're saying, this is the finals. Tamyun got here, so we didn't see, you know, the deck didn't pop that game, but we know that that combo deck is very powerful. It's capable of doing some insane things. Just in this situation, this was Psicopato's game.
Right.
They drew exactly
And
what they
so
needed in the game to
when I
set up.
when I designed the deck, mine is Mardu. And so what I do is if I'm up against control, I bring in all the hand disruption, all the thought seizes, all the inquisitions. I gotta pick the hand apart so that I can combo off.
There you go. Nice.
But, I mean, Tamyun's he's not playing black, so
No, exactly. Yeah. So that is not part of the not part of his game plan. Yeah. Let's see. As far as interaction goes, I'm taking a look at their list. Wow, they're running 4 Emergent Ultimatum. I suppose if you can Mizzix Mastery that, you're in a pretty sweet situation. They got Otherworldly Gaze, Pact of Negation, Shatter Skull Smashing, Spell Pierce, and Swan Song. And in the sideboard, there's Anger the Gods, Crush the Weak. There's Prismari Command. I suppose that, yeah, that's in the main deck as well. Test of Talents, Cinderclasm, Unsubstantiated is in the sideboard. So that's pretty sweet. And Depart the Realm is in the sideboard as well, which is a card I wasn't expecting to see. That's the card that it's similar to an Unsummon, but it can target any non-land permanent for 2, or you can foretell it for 1. So that's an interesting one.
So he's got to combo off before those Lotus fields start coming down.
My goodness, yeah. Yeah, Lotus Field with Teferi is insane. Like, that's...
so much mana.
Yes, that is broken in half. And here we are. Teferi, Tails End, Lotus Field.
So it's going to be a repeat of last game.
I mean, if I'm Psicopato, I could not click that keep button fast enough. There's... I mean... Yeah,
he rigged the shuffler. It's rigged.
Yeah, because I mean, you hit the shock land on 1, the check land on 2.
Oh my god! Then a veto.
Lotus Field Tails End on 3, and you've got Teferi teed up on 4. Like, it's not even fair, man. That's
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Otherworldly
Gaze, put a Dragon Storm in the graveyard. That's a pretty good turn 1 for Tamyun.
Now he needs Blade Wing in the graveyard now.
Yep. Now we have Tails End and Dovin's Veto up. Now Psicopato is not going to want to play Tails End on anything that Tamyun plays here. That's definitely going to be that Dovin's Veto, if anything.
He missed the land drop.
That's not good. Yeah. Are you sure? God. Oh, yes. 100%.
It's over with now. He missed that land drop.
Test of Tails at the Tails End.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. All right.
Yeah, buddy.
There's something. Okay.
Yeah,
now
buddy.
We're talking. So what's going to happen here? So Psicopato still gets the Lotus Field. The Lotus Field resolves, however.
He gets the Lotus Field, but he's got to give up those other 2 lands.
Got to give up the other 2 lands. So, yeah, Psicopato was looking at having 5 mana, on the field. Now they're going to be down to 3 because of that Test of Talents. Pretty sweet. Yeah. So, did it set Psicopato back? Not necessarily, but, man, it did not jump them forward the way they wanted.
Right. And Tamyun's still missing land drops, man.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. Because, I mean, that Test of Talents was a perfect play there, but if they don't have anything to follow it up. That'll be for nothing.
I mean, the test caught the tails in. I mean, it's not the most optimal card to remove from the deck, but
Sure.
in the moment, it was the best thing to do.
Right. And Otherworldly Gaze was going to allow Tamyun to basically stack the top 3 cards of the deck. And Psicopato, seeing the missed land drops, not going to let that happen. Yeah, Archmage's Charm coming in clutch there. Tamyun still missing land drops. Ooh.
So rough, man. He's debating, do I jam Teferi here or not?
Right. It's a great question.
Nope. Gonna opt to jam the Emperor.
Exactly. Well, that's one of the other great thing with the Emperor having Flash. You can hold up counter spells and still get a Planeswalker on the field. I mean, on the end step. That's fantastic. Tamyun hitting that Sulfur Falls, which is nice. Did not elect to shock it in. Not Sulfur Falls, sorry, Steam Vents. Wanderer upticking. Interesting choice there.
Okay.
Kind of curious as to why that wasn't in the other order, but okay.
Maybe it was a misclick.
Maybe. It could have been. Yeah, it could have been. These things do happen.
Come on, Tamyun. I'm rooting for you, man. I want to see you pull out some kind of way. Miracles happen.
They have the Dragon Storm in the graveyard. They may even, I mean, they have plenty of cards in hand. They might easily be sitting on a Mizzix Mastery in hand. But 3 mana, with only 3 land drops, or 3 lands down. It's just not, it's not there. On Psicopato hitting a pretty vicious land pocket there.
Yeah, but that's the advantage of having card draw. You get to cycle through all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they still have plenty of gas in hand with mana on the field, so they're doing fine.
That token's just going to be putting in work.
Come solve the equation. Yeah, tapping out on what, turn 6 with 3 mana for a tutor? Like, that can't even grab you a land. That's not what you want to see.
Right.
Yeah, that's rough. Grabbing an Emergent Ultimatum.
What are you gonna do with that? Like, I'm assuming loot it to the graveyard some kind of way,
or discard it to hand size. Is that where we're at this point? Oops. Okay. Yeah, they discard it to hand size.
Maybe he's going for the old oops bluff. Like, I made a mistake.
Right.
Psicopato play something and
yeah, don't punish me for this, Psicopato. Whatever you do. Yeah. It's a classic trick when you attack, like, into a blocker when you have a combat trick in hand. Like, say oops, and like, yeah, no, I had the trick all along. Yeah. All right, so now we have Teferi and the Wandering Emperor and Lotus Field.
Yeah, that gets
This is for taking the shot. You have to, but you have the Immersion Ultimatum, yeah. And that's actually the power of Immersion Ultimatum. Is like, if you're Tamyun, if this resolves, you win, right? I mean, Immersion Ultimatum. That's a 7 mana sorcery that, like, it has a lot of text on it, but what it boils down to is
it says you win.
Like, that's just what happens. But so as a result, Psicopato cannot allow that to resolve, and of course they don't.
Now, sadly, he's got if he has another master, he's gonna run into a veto.
Yeah. Yeah, and that might be exactly what Tamyun's thinking. Like, there might be a second mastery, or Mizzix Mastery in hand, thinking, okay, maybe that
actually,
was the counterspell.
I don't even, if I'm playing against a mastery deck, I don't even counter the mastery. I counter the spell that they try to cast off the mastery. So then it's out of the graveyard, and I don't have to worry about them top decking another mastery.
No, that's a great call out. Yeah, no, you're right. That is that is a great way to to time that. Yeah, do you just, I'd just be upticking Emperor all day here.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. This game
This
over.
is it. Yeah. Ouch. I gotta say, like, it was fun to watch these decks pop off, and a huge like props to both of our both of our competitors here who made it to the finals. Like, great play, beautifully done. This was Psicopato's day.
Now those were some tight games, huh? So much control going around. Didn't want to make any mistakes at all in this top 8. Big shoutouts to Alvaro for taking down the whole event. And thank you so much to Staxx Rocman and Hamhocks42 who did such a phenomenal job with the commentary. And I want to thank you, the viewer, for making it this far into the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Will be greatly appreciated. Don't forget, we host 3 tournaments a month. Our May schedule's out as well. All these links in the description below. And as always, stay cheesy.